Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday night segment of The Outer Realm, broadcasting live, the United Public Radio Network, UFO, Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 and 107.7 FM from the beautiful city of New Orleans. We are fully sponsored by the amazing people over at Folgers Coffee who have been a part of this amazing journey since day one. So thank you, Folgers. We appreciate you so very much. Also, big thank you to Justin Snicker, a.k.a. Dr. Snick. That's a tongue twister tonight. The Sonic Surgeon for our intro and outro. He's an award-winning composer of Halloween, horror, sci-fi, and dark wave electronic music, which can be found anywhere that good music can be found. Also, big thank you to Steve McGinnis, the artist behind The Outer Realm, and basically the artwork at The Outer Realm. So we're very appreciative of his creativity. So thank you, thank you. Okay, it is that time of year again, people. Yes, podcast awards, People's Choice Podcast Awards. And you can find us under Best Female Host. That's our category. And also, guys, just remember, you're going to start seeing a lot of stuff coming up on the different shows, commercials, that will be discussing all of the other nominees. I don't have everything in front of me yet. I don't know categories. I don't know exactly which shows. But we, again, the Outer Realm, nominated for a third year for a People's Choice Award or People's Choice Podcast Awards in the category of Best Female Host. So thank you again. Tonight, we're going to be kind of taking it easy a little bit. We're going to be talking about, well, you know, how does it usually go? We just sort of go with whatever floats the boat of everybody in the open chat tonight. But we thought we would tackle different levels of high strangeness. So that can be anything from, you know, paranormal, UFOs. You know, I kind of touched, Amelia and I were jamming back and forth. We thought, oh,
she didn't touch travel. Me. I kind of touched Amelia jamming back and forth.
You know, prophecies, things like that. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. And I thought, well, let's just go there. So I got people chiming in. Hey,
change
Jeannie,
glasses, I can see.
Right. Zachman, how's it going? Roger Garza, yeah, from the Latino Psychic Visions, who had their premiere show tonight.
Oh, congratulations.
I know, right? And they were on earlier. I always get mixed up with the whole bloody Eastern Central, and I shouldn't, but you guys can catch their show 4 p.m. Central, goes until 5 p.m. Central, or 5:30, sorry, or 5 to 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And boy, they had the chat room just lighting up and all kinds of stuff. So definitely go and check them out when you have an opportunity.
I love the name.
Hello, Michael. Hello. Nocturnal Frequency. Go check these guys out too.
Nathaniel.
I know.
Janie.
I know. Here we go. Look at that, right? Everybody's just coming in. Nathaniel, hello.
Oh, I hope you guys stick around and help us debate this. Yeah.
It's a high strangers night. So anybody that wants to kind of like chime in and want to come and hang out, it can always like, you know, throw you a link. And you can always come in and chit chat with us a little bit. And yeah, very welcome. Very welcome. You know, but yeah, so I don't know. What's been going on with you? It's been a while. I feel like I haven't seen you forever.
I know. It's been
Tell everybody the good news. Tell everybody the good news.
Oh, the good news. Thank you for all your thoughts and prayers. My daughter's condition has reversed. And in 1 week, she's gone up 15% in function in her kidney. So the prednisone is working and all the med changes. So fingers crossed, please continue prayers because she's on this treatment for another month.
Yes.
So I just want to thank you all. We got the good news yesterday that she went from just below 50% to 65% function. So, what you have to understand is when she left the hospital, I don't know how they do this math, but she actually left with, thank you, Nathaniel. She actually left, thank you, Michael, with 112% function, and it dropped to just below 50.
Wow, that's a big drop. Yeah.
It's a huge drop, and it happens because the body starts to reject it. She's young, she's fit, but I just thank you so much, Zach. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't often ask for prayers, but when it comes to my baby, and she really believes in it, and so do I. Just collectiveness of the positive vibes and the energy, whether it's prayer or thoughts, whatever, we are so
consciousness, all that stuff, love and light, right? Goes out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There we go. Great news. That was a fantastic way to start off the show.
It was a rough week.
I know. So when you see Bubbles on the show, there's something going down. So
yeah, it's migraine season too, so it doesn't help.
No,
it doesn't help. But today was a gorgeous day.
Yeah,
it's a gorgeous day.
It was. Actually
bloody hot
about
out.
time. About time.
Yeah. Thank you, Faye. Thank you. I'm gonna catch your show. I wanna see. I heard about you guys, but I didn't realize you were already on there. Congratulations.
Yes.
That's
and
phenomenal.
They have a Saturday show, which will be 10:30 Central and 11:30 Eastern, which is called "This Mug's for You." I love it. And it's just kind of like a melee of Saturday morning goodness. So
I love that. Have to catch that. I have it automatically download onto Spotify. Did you know you can do that, guys? It automatically downloads on whatever streaming platform you're on. You can download all of the shows straight to your app. So I have everybody's on there.
That's good. That's good. Plus yours.
Plus ours.
Anyway, so okay, guys, who's going to pick the first topic of high strangeness for the evening? Who wants to get started? Okay, Bubbles on the roll. Let's go. Bubbles, okay, Joe, you coming in? Yeah, you coming in, Joey? Want to come in? Want to come in? Yeah. Okay, come in.
Do.
Yeah, come on in. For sure.
We made it through thanks to Michelle. Yes.
Jojo, there we go.
No, I'm just here for a second. I wanted to come in and plug something and get out of y'all's hair.
Okay.
What?
See, look, have you ever seen me do a show in a t-shirt before?
No,
actually.
It was I thought I was looking at a trucker. I didn't know who that was.
Got my hat on. I got
t-shirt and a cap.
I'm looking for your CB radio.
Jealous, man. Look at the monster.
Those are some nice arms. Gotta say.
Yeah. So y'all know I'm going to be in LA from the 22nd to the 29th. I had the good ones on tonight. So this is the deal.
I know, because I get to watch the kids.
So we're giving away they're giving away a 3-day, 2-night trip to Los Angeles, Hollywood.
Ooh.
Okay. Free.
Very nice.
Just win and you get to go. So this is what I said. I said, if anybody wins on News on the Flip Side, I'll put them on TV and buy them dinner while they're there.
That means
but
steak
I also
when it's
said
Joe.
If anyone wins from the Outer Realm, I'll put them on TV and give them the new autograph book 39.
Ooh,
so y'all heard that. So this is up to y'all. Now it's on my pages. Y'all can just go click. I'll get Michelle to put it on hers. It's if you just go to galaxypress.com, it's over there. You can see where to join to click in. It's easy. It's fast. So all the rest of the station, if you went off the rest of the station or for one of our pages, we'll just be grateful to see you out there and say hi and show you around. But if you went off of one of these two shows, you get something extra. Okay, I'm just putting it in there because the rest of the damn shows can win or not win.
This is when it sucks to be us because we can't enter.
I know.
It's so but they didn't say that. They didn't say it couldn't be a host. They didn't say anything.
Yeah, it'll take me 2 days to get there from this side of the continent.
It's
just saying.
Yeah,
it's a 5.5 hour. It's almost a 6-hour flight from where we are.
And we're going to be at the Lowe's Hotel this year. It's a nice hotel. We went to Roosevelt the last 2 years. Now we're going to be at the Lowe's. Lowe's is a nice hotel. They got nice rooms. It's a nice part of LA. So, it's clean, nice, comfortable.
That's really nice. That's very generous.
So again, if you win on this show, you'll get a 2 hour, you'll get an hour interview with with myself and John on Roku television. So you'll be on live television.
So what do they have to do for this glorious gift?
They got to go to galaxypress.com and fill out the application. The whole address is on all of my Facebook pages, but
okay,
you can just go to galaxypress.com. You'll find it on there, and you can, if you win, then you're from one of these two shows. You get the autograph book. Let me tell you how the autograph book for book 39. It's not just the winners. It's all of those high-end judges that have got all those movies to their acclaim. These are actually signatures that may turn into be worth something in the future. So, whichever way you want to go, if you want to have dinner with me, then you tell them what's news on the flip side. If you want to get the book, you tell them it was from the Outer Realm.
There you go. So you're going to have to tell Joe.
If you win on the show, well, it's going to be Maliva. Maliva's taking care of it. She's watching all of that, so she'll let me know if anybody says it either way, and if it's from the network. And if they are from the network, guess what?
Okay, guys.
Wow.
So
that's exciting.
A free trip to LA. I mean, come on. What else do y'all want, people? Tamara's going to win. She wins every damn thing.
There we go.
Anyway,
she's not even in the chat room right
now. I know, poor baby. She'll find out later. Anyway, I'm going to get out of y'all's hair, and I'll be listening, hanging out, listening.
See you later, awesome. JoJo. Thank you. Tell them thank you. That's very generous.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. So remember, the Outer Realm, people, remember that. Galaxypress.com. Go there, fill out that application. Do what you got to do. And mention either News on the Flip Side or the Outer Realm.
Very nice. It is a long flight for us.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hike for sure.
It's a bit of a hike, but LA is LA. You get that opportunity. It's
I like
cool.
LA. It's a bit smoggy, but I didn't mind it too much.
Well, smoggy. If you looked at where we live.
Coming in. Okay. Who are your favorite characters from the UFO community? Oh,
characters? What do you mean by characters?
Characters is in how? Like as in people who are researchers, or are we talking aliens? Are we
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put up some examples. Skinwalker Ranch, George Knapp. Yeah. Travis Walton story, absolutely.
Oh, well, Preston Dennett is my favorite.
There's a push to send Bob Lazar.
Michael Carter.
Yeah, Bob Lazar. Wouldn't that be cool? UFO Twitter is that Bob will be going on the Weaponized podcast very soon. Bob's coming out, is he? Very, very interesting. Okay.
Really?
I know. So
he's going back into the public. He had slipped out for a little while.
Oh, I know. So I guess the question comes back. Everybody chime in. Who's the favorite characters from the UFO?
Mine's Joe Montaldo.
I was going to say we just had one, like yeah. One of the top researchers.
Joe's been on history.
I know.
Yeah, Joe Montaldo, Preston Dennett, Michael Carter.
Yeah. All the people I think everybody really have been on the show.
Yeah. Yes, they have.
It's true.
They have.
There's so many great researchers out there, and you don't really hear about them all. Like I can go through a list of people that we've had on the show. I mean, even Philip Mantle, Philip Kinsella. There's some right there. Less for Less. There's another one. I mean, there are so many. It's just so hard to.
We've been fortunate.
Oh yeah, hard to just pick one.
No,
specifically because they specialize in different things. Like Joe, for example, aside from the fact that he specializes in many things, he's got, their organization primarily looks at contactees and abductees and documents a lot of that. Whereas you get other groups like MUFON, where they don't really concentrate on so much the abductions as much as they do the sightings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it all depends, but that's true. I love Preston. Preston's family, but he was just on, and so was Michael.
And that's well, they did one together.
Yes,
you know what I mean, which is great. That one did really well. What are we doing? We're talking about all levels of high strangeness, which could be anywhere from UFOs It can be anywhere from paranormal. I thought we would touch on time travel, prophecies, power spots, stargates, things like that. Anything out of the norm.
Well, it's funny to talk about strangeness because Michelle and I have like all these little synchronicities and then these huge ones. But when she said to me, "Hi, strangeness," all of a sudden, everything I saw online, on TV, hearing people talk had to do with exorcism. And I'm like, is it because the new film is coming out?
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that new film. I'll let you go on it because I know you've been following this. So
I've been following it a little bit because when I see Russell Crowe take on something like this, which is not a role he's played before.
He's a very good dramatic actor.
He is a very good dramatic actor. Although if we look at his last movie, it tanked. But this, to be playing the chief exorcist, Gabriel Amorth of the Vatican, is huge.
Yeah.
It's just huge. And to have, and he's also now on, which I found really funny, he's on the new, is it called Hallow or Hallow app? It's a Catholic app. He's promoting that with Mark Wahlberg. And
well, my question is about this show, because you're talking about
the film.
The film. Sorry,
was
the Vatican the Pope's chief exorcist? Is this like a Vatican approved thing?
I doubt it, but he did have conversations in the Vatican. I would have to look that up to make sure.
It's a curiosity.
I doubt the Vatican would ever permit anything like that because it's based on the story of Father Gabriel Amorth as the chief exorcist and the cases, as well as his relationship with like St. Pio and stuff like that. But Gabriel Amorth is legendary in this field, as is Malachi Martin. But the two of them, when you take a demonology course, that's on your reading list. Is the two of them is on your reading list. Like the books are all,
and it's funny because Malachi Martin was so controversial in the end, right? Like people thought he really became like media hungry and just popularity
it's really hard because he did a documentary
away from his credibility to some.
He did a documentary. There was a lot of stuff that flew around about him. But you know what? I don't look at him. I look at priests differently because I see human beings trying to portray someone that just doesn't exist, honestly. And no offense to anyone. I am Roman Catholic. I'm just saying they have a lot to live up to, and it's just impossible. I believe, and I think that other people in this field who have studied Malachi, right? I always pronounce his name. I want to call him Malachi all the time.
Yeah.
Malachi Martin, I believe, had many attachments. I believe that there was a lot. He did go through a lot. There's question of how he passed away and if it was demonic of sorts and how it happened, So I just want to see Amorth because Amorth was huge in this. He was the man who said yes, no. Chief exorcist. If he had to get involved with a case, that's huge. That's internationally. That's for Catholics all around the world. So I'm really interested in seeing this. Really shocked that Russell Crowe took this role, but I got to tell you, when I was watching the clips and listening to him, he did really well with the accent, unlike the Gucci film. They butchered it, but he did really well. And I find that he's such an incredible actor that he is methodical and he gives everything to it. So I feel like it's going to be a true picture of it.
Should there be a concern, because I'm putting it out there, people, because if I have to put it out there, it's because it happened. Okay.
Yeah, it's opening this
You
weekend.
read about crazy stuff all the time, so I'm just going to put it out there. Should there be a concern that you're going to have people out there who are going to try to mimic some of this stuff and go out on their own and be, hey, now I know how to go in and perform an exorcism? Because, especially things that are that true to life, like The Rite was very, very similar. Like it was really, really good. And a lot of people went kind of with that.
Here you go. Unreliable splatter. Vatican exorcist denounced Russell Crowe.
There we go.
I knew
Shocker.
it. I knew
Shocker.
that.
Yeah.
I knew that would happen. So that means that this movie is going to be really damn good.
They're trying to already deter people from
it. It's going to be really damn good. I think they're doing it because of the concern you just expressed right now. I believe a lot of the reason why they do this is because they don't want people, like lay people just going in there, not clergy going in to do this kind of deliverance. There's a whole thing to it. You have to be trained regardless. I'm not saying that it has to be a priest. I believe totally it's got to be your faith in what you believe in. Otherwise nothing's going to work. But I don't think that you can watch a movie or a television show and deliver someone.
Oh, heck no, but it's not for a lack of some people trying. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't have brought it up, aside from the fact that if I have to bring it up, it's because I research a lot. I mean, a lot. I'm versed in a lot of things because I read stuff every day. And I mean, I really do read at least one bit of research every day. And it's unbelievable the things that are out there with the big WTF moment where you want to face palm and go, what did I just read? Or what did I just see?
It's even worse because they're videotaping and putting them on TikTok now.
Well, YouTube, TikTok, now all these video platforms that, Reels. Oh yeah, we want to hear your story. We want to see what you got going on.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, Reels and TikTok are the most dangerous because they're 30-second clips, and you can do a lot of damage in 30 seconds.
Oh, sure.
And some of them have permission to go beyond that. Some of them can put a minute or 3 minutes, depending on their accounts.
Sure.
You have to have a lot of followers to reach that many people, and you can distort facts like nobody's business.
Well, there's no guidelines.
Perception.
There's nobody monitoring this stuff. Not that you want everything monitored. I mean, some stuff needs to be monitored, but I think the whole world is going through censorship issues in one form or another. So, you have to really be careful. Like Dolly says, play with fire, you can get burned. Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's the problem. Regardless of what we see these as or what type of entities or, if you see them as bad ETs or good, whatever it is, you have to be very careful. And let me tell you, it's a small percentage of people who are actually possessed. So be careful with what you watch. If you are highly sensitive, you shouldn't be watching any of this. I'm going to be honest with you. I remember when I started my course with Bishop James, I was seeing stuff and he told me I would, because you're
catching attention. Don't think that there isn't something out there watching. I think if you're a person of interest, so to speak, you definitely will. Okay.
Oh, here we go. He founded the International, I was looking for the name because I know it in Italian, the International Association of Exorcists, and claims to have performed tens of thousands. But remember, it was just him and a few other priests internationally.
Right.
So when you hear tens of thousands, it's really not that much when you think it's globally.
Right.
Okay. It's not, although he probably spent a lot of time on our side of the earth and probably Africa as well.
Right.
There's a lot.
Yes.
That's very ancient.
Right.
There's a lot.
Which is fascinating, because when you think of the guidelines that the Vatican has with respects to being approved for exorcism, you literally have to jump through hoops. I mean, you really have to prove mental health. You have to explore everything via science, medically. Then you're looking at the alternative, unless you've got like amazing evidence, as close to evidence as can be, where they sort of look at it and go, yeah, that's a thing. And of course, they would have looked at him and went, yeah, we know you know what you're doing, therefore, carte blanche, right?
He also believed that Hitler was possessed. So but there's a lot into it. There's documentaries. If you're planning on going to see the movie to see this, because I think, honestly, I would recommend it. I don't want to sit in a theater because my daughter's immune system is low. So I can't, I'm going to have to wait until I can watch it from home. And Michelle and you guys will hear when I watch it, because I loved The Rite.
Yeah, me too.
I absolutely love that film. And I haven't spoken to a priest or a bishop who hasn't said it is the closest you'll come to reality.
Exceptional.
Very.
Really well done.
People are not exorcised or delivered in one day. Some of these things, these cases go on for years.
That's right.
and it has to be, and then it becomes.
That's the point, actually, that I'm glad you made, because I think media shows you, they can go on for a day or hours, couple of days. Even the story of The Exorcist, that took 8 weeks. 8 weeks, okay?
Yes.
Which is short on the grand scheme of things. And it wasn't constant. It was just going in for an hour a day.
And it never came back.
Yeah, right? So there's
that we know of.
There's a lot of things that you really need to get versed on, and media has sort of ruined that. So we're going to come in with this comment before we go to the next topic.
Yeah, I can actually see it. Yeah, I can see
Okay.
most of it.
Okay.
Sorry, I switched my glasses 3 times. Zach says that's one thing that Hollywood got wrong about exorcisms. There are so many procedures to go through before an exorcism can be
100%
approved and performed. Yes, and that's why I believe that Warren had that permission, because they were overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Hi, Adriana. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that there's some people who have it together. There's some people, who they would be taken seriously without jumping through as many hoops, but they still had to wait for verification. I've worked with people, working with, if you work with the Catholics, you need to come out with as much evidence as possible. I had to deal with doctors. I needed to get permission from doctors. I needed to request psychiatric assessments.
Yeah.
2 different people, if possible. I had to work with based on the faith of the people. And from that point on, once that got handed over to their church, it went up the ranks that way. But realistically, I never saw an exorcist performed, and I was able through time to just get the clearing done, like myself, or working.
It takes years sometimes to get the approval.
Yeah, it's a lot harder than people think. When you're dealing with other faiths and you have their versions of deliverances, I waited a year to have one family I was working with for their version of a deliverance, and it worked. It was like just unbelievable, speaking in tongues, whole 9 yards. I had never experienced anything like that, and I thought, this is like, wow. Cleared 2 places infected by the same entity within 2 hours. One place was never a problem again, and the main place, after about 2 years, something resurfaced, but then I was able to go clear it in person, and then just because we nipped it, like they knew what to look for, whereas people don't the first time.
No, absolutely not. And several times after that, because they're afraid. I mean, look at Annalise Michel, Michelle, her case was butchered in the court system because they said she spoke in tongues, but she took languages in school. So the fact that she spoke Latin wasn't one of those things. She was being treated for bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, which is something you can't even prove at her age. A lot of schizophrenics are not diagnosed properly till well into their 20s. She was not. She was not. I think she was 19 or 20 when she was exorcised, because it was her first year of university.
Right.
Or college, as our American friends say. But, I believe that this is going to open a lot of ugly doors. I believe that if you watch it, make sure you're strong enough to watch it as well.
I want to touch on, do you remember you and I were talking about that lady? We didn't know her name. We went searching for at the Vatican. Did she not? I think something.
Oh, Maria. Her name is Maria something.
And she became possessed. Is that right?
Yes, she was assisting a priest, and it bounced off of her.
Can we talk about that one?
Yeah.
I can never remember all the details, so I'll let you take that.
I can't remember.
While we're on the topic of exorcists.
She was at a deliverance, and the young man was clearly possessed. They had people from the Vatican. This is in Rome.
Right.
And what happened was they delivered him, but the entity went into her, and then everybody in that circle that was there for the exorcism, she murdered.
Oh.
So they put her in what's really strange, and I bet you a lot of you don't know this. There's a hospital in Rome that one side of the hospital is locked down, and it's not psychiatric. There's crucifixes on every doorway. Priests go in and out, and that's where she was kept.
Right.
But they're saying this never happened, just like the girl that went missing for the Vatican didn't happen. They're saying this never happened.
Yeah.
But sadly,
Right.
her daughter was a journalist, so yes, it did happen.
So
it's
she went
funny how
looking.
stuff comes
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yes, and they made a movie about it, and they made a joke, and they said, no, it's not true, it's fake. But no, I had my cousin look into this in Rome, so I can tell you, what was that movie called? It wasn't something evil, like they're all called evil.
Deliver Us from
No, Deliver Us from Evil is Ralph Sarchi's story.
Yeah. That's right.
Which when that film came out, created a lot of issues in the field as well, with people playing around with stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if her name was Maria Bozzo. I can't remember. But yeah, we couldn't find her. And then I looked and I went, oh my God.
But it sounds a lot like the same story as what happened to the young man in the movie, The Exorcist, that there was that final push in the end, and they believe that the entity jumped into, was it a nun or was it a young priest? Do we remember?
For
The Exorcist, the young man who was actually, who The Exorcist movie was based on.
It was a boy. It was a young boy.
It was a boy.
Yeah.
But upon that final push for exorcism, wasn't there something there where the entity jumped into somebody else, and that person ended up being locked up afterwards?
I don't know about that.
And that building has since come down, I think. So it's like,
the building is still there.
Is it?
Yeah, because
but that room was locked up. It was something weird about it.
I don't know. I'd have to ask James, because Bishop James did the not an exorcism. It was an exorcism of the house kind of thing.
Right.
They went to the house and that, and the Booth brothers did the documentary on that. I do have a copy of the diary. I should read that. I just know the story from them. The Exorcist was. I laugh because my sister-in-law is petrified of it, but I used to laugh my head off through that film because it was just so ridiculous. You know, when you see that,
it's just another one of those stories
the basis of the ant and the Ouija board. That is true.
Yeah, it's just another one of those stories that sort of leave you hanging as to what really happened. But that young man grew up to be a man and worked, I think, in aviation or something along those lines, and really
Bishop James is still in contact with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's friends with the family. He doesn't talk about it, doesn't have any recollection of it.
As well. Yeah, exactly.
No. That's normal for people who have been possessed, right? To have no recollection. I think it just affects and hurts everybody around them. But
so we're going to jump to a different topic.
I need to find that Maria.
I know. So this is also in the news. Dr. Stephen Greer is actually putting out a new movie in the next few months.
Yes. He's been on a lot of shows recently. Yes.
And I wonder how that's going to be received.
A new movie. He's putting out another documentary or a film.
Oh, I think it's going to be like another film, documentary.
Like unacknowledged, like that.
Yeah, what he does. But
okay, because isn't there three already out there?
This one's going to be a little bit more about disclosure and government. Isn't that, Michael, do you know? Can you elaborate? Yeah, Dolly's saying,
Dolly's documentary. Thanks, Dolly. Yeah. I haven't really kept up with him. I don't know why, but for some reason, my eyes and myself, I've been pulled a lot to this kind of dark energy stuff, maybe because of what we've been going through and trying to keep myself protected. Michelle keeps us protected. I think that could be the reason why my head's there. I've seen his clips on YouTube where they have those short clips of him on podcasts, but he does big shows. He doesn't do smaller networks. He does big networks.
Right. False flags. See, that's the next.
What false flags? What kind?
False flags basically is where governments around the world and things along those lines are UFOs. You know, they're going to make it look like we're in trouble and that were, UFOs are dangerous. That's why you're seeing them all the time. There's a reason why all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're all into this. We want to hear about everything. This is what the false flag movement, the whole false flag thing is. And I say movement because it really is picking up speed. A lot of people are really, really starting to think that this may be a thing. Sorry, let me put this
up. It makes sense because everybody and their grandmother can get evidence now with a cell phone. So it makes sense that they would want to try and interfere with that.
Yeah, ET will be presented as a national security threat.
Yeah, I believe it.
The crafts that are being seen right now, probably most of them, especially, a lot of these, the triangle ones are supposed to be just military.
You think about how many contactees and abductees have come forward. Not even in the last 10 years have there been as many as the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the last year has just been crazy. Ever since COVID.
I hate that word. C word.
Ever since the C word.
Yeah,
we don't want to get ripped off of YouTube.
Exactly. But it's true. It's true. I think we've had one thing lockdown did was give people a lot of time to reflect and to pay attention to their surroundings, because the world went pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Not as much in the airspace. So there's something up there. People are going to take notice. Weird sounds, people are going to take notice. There's just not that much out there. So ET thing is, ET are not here right now. Well, I'm a big believer in the fact that they're dimensional, interdimensional. So it's kind of hard to peg and say, here we go. We got a craft going. I definitely think right now the stage is being set, and where that's going to go, nobody knows. It's kind of like spin the bottle. Where is it going to go? Now we're going deep. World Cabal agenda is happening.
Oh, no. Can we say that C word?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I truly believe it is as well. I think so. I think it's just a matter of time, that's been in the works for a really long time. But it'll be interesting because Stephen Greer, June 6th, he's releasing something called The Last Century and How to Reclaim It. Stephen Greer, seriously, that guy, I'm surprised is still walking around.
I think he's under a severe security, though. I think he has a lot of security because he's had many death threats that he's talked about.
Gosh.
The possession. Sorry.
No, it wouldn't surprise me if a fake ET invasion is perpetuated. The biggest factor that the instigators rely on is fear. Sure, fear. Absolutely. That's what makes the big money machine going on, right? Hold on. Okay, so we did that one.
Wow.
Our magnetosphere is going down. They physically fly here now. Okay. What else do we have?
I got to read the letter from that possessed nun.
This would be a fear of an extraterrestrial race that is technologically superior to the human race. Oh, there's no doubt about that. That's the reason. War equals money. Lots of it. It makes
absolutely does.
Right down, right to the shoelaces, right down to the arms. He's got a big new place opening up in Virginia.
War's huge money. Even groceries, toilet paper. I think about it. I mean, tents, food, housing. Everything.
So I think there's a lot coming with all of that. And I think this is where this is going to be an awareness thing. This is where people are going to have to be aware and open-minded, but logical at the same time. Because I think now they did this properly with the whole disclosure thing. Because I think a lot of people wanted to see disclosure. And I think they did it in a way that even people who were leery about it were coming to be more accepting of it. So, now they're saying, we want to know your experiences. We want to know what you're seeing, what you're hearing. We want to know what you're experiencing. They want to know everything. So it's almost like night and day. So why all of a sudden is it okay after being, severely oppressed with this stuff? I don't know. It's just, you got to use logic with it. The Star Retreat is in Hot Springs, Virginia, and it's Dr. Greer's CE5 complex. So I have to ask again, because I think I asked Preston this before, and I think Michael Carter touched on it as well. And I'm sure Dolly will touch on it next time she's on the show. So let's talk about the fact with CE5. Is this at a point where, because Dolly's saying, no, they're not here. So CE5, they're calling forward contact with extraterrestrials. And like anything, you have your good, you have your not so good. Should that be something? Like, I know it's taken off like crazy right now. I mean, this is a thing to do. People are out there, they're doing it. Dangerous? Big old question mark there. Dangerous?
It's going to get even worse now with summer coming on this side.
Now everybody's going to be out there, up on top of the mountain. So I don't know. Yeah. Is this something that should be taught? Is this something that people need to be leery of? The do's and the don'ts?
Well, are you communicating with ET, or are you communicating with government?
Well, if they're not allowed, or if they're not, I won't say allowed, but if they're not flying, Dolly's saying they cannot fly here right now. So if that's the case, who are they actually seeing? And are they just seeing crafts, or are they seeing ET from here, back engineered? Okay, so let's get into CE5. Dangerous or not dangerous? Who are they really seeing?
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Dolly?
I mean, to see a craft coming in, you could easily say, yeah, it's one of theirs. But some people are reporting seeing actual ET.
I know. Are they, or are they projecting an image from? Oh, there we go. Yes, dangerous as hell, she says.
Everyone must say their own truth. Yeah. So why do it then? Especially if you're not getting what you think you're getting.
Why do people provoke dark entities? I think it's the same reason. It's curiosity.
It's like poking the bear in the
poking the bear constantly. And you're camping, there's a bear, walk them by.
I know.
I believe it's the same thing, that curiosity. Everybody wants the experience to talk about, and they want to see, is this real? I think people think that unless they see it, it's not real. A lot of people, right? Like see it to believe it kind of thing.
7D. I mean, holographs. Yes.
See, that's what I thought. Holography. 7D. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, we're already transitioning into 6G here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
Michael Kennedy, there isn't any evidence that ET are evil or have intentions to harm. We all know they're ancient. Yeah.
Humanity's in their way. Okay. Whose way?
Yeah.
That's a big question. Whose way are they? Hey, Neil, whose way are they actually in? Because, I mean, let's face it. Okay. We've got, allegedly the cabal is doing their thing. That's pretty strong with respect to, it's looking that way.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's look at the worst case scenario. They need the worker bees. Humanity's in the way, but they need the worker bees any way you look at it. The way of the 1%, but they need the worker bees. I mean, how do you get around that?
Yeah. You can't grow a crop without farmers, just say.
Yeah. No, exactly. Adrian.
There are good out there. All you have to do is ask, but not arbitrarily with purpose. Seek knowledge. Oh, see, and I'd be very careful right now. I'd be very careful with that.
Yeah, there's some touchy, that's why we're talking about high strangeness. It falls into all kinds of different things, but yeah, I mean, it's a really tough one, because we're going to start seeing and experiencing all kinds of things in the coming probably months, years. Zach, man, do you want to get that?
Sure. Zach says, if I ever have encounters like I did years ago, I will keep an open mind and rely on my gut instinct to find the truth. But what if your gut instinct is manipulated?
That's
Zach, a tough
one. What do you say to that one?
That's a tough one, because anything can happen, right?
Yes.
I mean, how many people are abducted and contacted and don't even know it? So, it just, I don't know. That's a tough one. You could spin this for hours. You could spend this for hours on the benefits and the downfalls of it, depending on who you're interacting with.
It is because we're in that time. I always go back to the fact that in the ancient world, there is all kinds of things, anywhere from out of place artifacts to petroglyphs to monuments. There definitely is evidence that many believe that extraterrestrials were here first, walked among man for sure, and that it was a really pretty good union for the most part. Human beings emulated what they saw, what they respected, what they revered. And then all of a sudden, Roswell comes along, Area 51, and everything changed, and people became oppressed. People were really, like Men in Black, whole 9 yards. It's just like, don't talk about it. We're confiscating everything. You're not allowed to have even one teeny little bit of piece. You're not allowed to have any of that. So, now we're back into that age. Yeah. Talk about it. We want to know everything. If you find it, we want it. Show us, let's open this dialogue. So I think you're getting into, a collection of information because people do have camera phones. People do have access to technology. People can be helpful. Other countries have always done it. The U.S. government has not always done it. They've suppressed people hardcore. You look at countries like France and Brazil. France we had a sighting, we're putting it out there. Brazil, same thing. I mean, they hid things to a degree, but they had a place where people for ages could just go through and give their information to. So
Brazil's also had a lot of angelic sightings and Virgin Mary and yeah, that's interesting.
Well, Brian Allen will tell you.
I know, it's interesting, right?
I know. So I don't know. Okay, so go back to. Go ahead.
Michael Kennedy says, so practicing on returning your spirituality and consciousness is a good thing. And I would love to see a drone, not the larger crafts, called Diviner. I can't even see
Diviner that. Now
because of the magnetic disturbances.
I like this comment right here.
It's just going to get worse with 6G. Adrian says, see what is happening. They are making us question everything in fear. It's manipulation, control. The beneficial ancients are still with us and will help. I agree.
And I have to tell you as well, Bell Canada, because, I don't want contacts through Bell Canada that we have. They were telling a mutual friend that it looks like they're jumping right to 9G with the technology. They're going right from 5G. 6. They're skipping over everything and they're going to 9G.
I don't know because they just put it on a commercial for 6.
Yeah, well, maybe
they just. I saw it last week and I went.
Towers and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Bell Canada is already allegedly. I will say the word allegedly because I did not hear it firsthand, but I have heard it from people who work for the company, and they're jumping. They're going to go full on. Now, we've had somebody else that we know say to us, the one you really need to worry about is the 9G. And all of a sudden, there's this big jump.
Where does it stop? Happening. Where does it end?
We're also under AI in the loop. Yeah.
Yeah, AI scares the crap out of me. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, the social platforms are flooded with observations. You have to be careful, though. Like demonic stories, you have to be able to weed out the bull, right?
10G
says, I got news for you.
Yeah, 10G where? I mean, here they're saying 9.
Where?
But you guys usually jump ahead of things a little bit quicker than Canada.
Technology, yes.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what she's saying.
I mean, 10. We're being censored. You guys are losing TikTok.
Shh. Wow. USA. Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of stuff coming up, and I do agree with Adrian, making us question everything. Everything is going to be fear-based. Fear rules. Fear, gets people to comply. That's definitely a lot of a lot of what this stuff is designed to do.
A lot of people are Googling it. because I didn't even have to finish the sentence. When is 9G coming out?
Right. And
it says, does China have 8G? The 8G is a Soviet built. No, it's a locomotive.
right.
It's just opinions right now.
Yes. That's interesting, though.
Oh,
So,
Hong Kong has 8.
yeah. Well. So for Canada to be going right to 9,
It probably
comes right
starts
from the sources.
in Hong Kong, though.
I
would
don't know.
imagine, yeah.
So
HG
Adriana,
in this article.
Prime Minister tweeted for the first time ever to allude about UFO. Suspicious.
Our Prime Minister?
Yeah.
Was he bored that day?
I know. Oh my God.
I have no comment on him. I have no comment on him. This is probably the only time I've ever spoken publicly about my political preference. But anyways, I think it's because we're all on the same page.
Yeah, we're getting primed. I think that's a good way of putting it. We're getting primed for sure. You know, I like to think that balloon business.
I just want to backtrack 1 second, if it's
go
okay,
ahead.
because I found it. Maria
Okay.
Rossi. I don't know why I was calling her Bozzo. Rossi. And it's called Devil Inside. And they'll tell you that the film is fake, but the stories are out there.
Oh, really?
So she was put in a hospital for criminally insane, and she had killed 3 people in that exorcism, including the priest.
Wow. So that would be interesting to go in and dig a little deep on that one.
It's really hard because there's not much there. You would have to do it through someone in Rome, like how I asked someone to find out if it was real.
Right.
And if that hospital was there and what they, what and who they hold there. And there's priest visits. What criminally insane hospital has a priest going there doing deliverances every day? Give me a break. They don't do deliverances. Priests don't get involved in the criminally insane.
Right.
So there's a lot to that story. So I just wanted to let you guys know.
Right.
But anyways, there's a lot of questions you can ask, but it would be really tough. But the Vatican's very good at covering things up.
Well, that's just their own country. It's like, their own government.
Absolutely.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's the same idea for sure. Do I get that?
Sure. Dolly says there is a satellite neural net above our heads and a quantum AI computer hooked into it. Why do you think Elon wants it stopped? Why does Elon have information to that? Is it because he's up there in the air and he sees it?
That's a whole other topic.
Elon Musk is I would love to talk to him.
Oh, sure. Wouldn't we all? Elon Musk, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on the Outer Realm.
You can tweet him. He reads his tweets if there's enough of them out there. You guys all, if you're on Twitter, tweet him to come on to the Outer Realm.
Oh, yeah.
All of you, please hashtag the Outer Realm and see if we get a response from him.
So then why try to stop it? Yeah. So whose side are we on? I don't know. See, that's another one of those level areas of high strangeness, because some people, if you follow the whole Revelation thing, they'll say, oh, your Antichrist is somebody who's going to save the world, but really he's the one who's not, and then you've got Elon who's like doing all these amazing things, free energy. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this.
But he's
at an Illuminati party with his mother and Chris on Halloween.
He's also a Tesla fanatic, and I think he's just trying to follow through on his idol's work. I feel like he's just trying to put it out there because he wants to continue the work and give Tesla that accreditation that he deserves.
I'd love to see that because he's brilliant.
That's how I feel. I mean, I'm not a fan of Elon Musk. I don't know much about him, but I mean, he named his company
Elon,
Tesla.
you have to come on, and just make us a fan.
Let me tell you something, though. When they had the power outage in the States last week, I can't remember which state it was, had the power outage. All y'all had your electric cars and parking lots.
It's true.
And streets. Think about
they
that.
Push it and push it and push it,
I have a problem with electric cars. I do. And because
okay,
people,
Adrienne, I say do it.
I see people yeah, he does look. Okay, that would be great.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, I don't know. Like everybody wants to blame the oil people because they're, the elite and they want to just keep oil. But if you think about it, they do have a point. What is mining your lithium are diesel fueled machinery.
Oh, that's more.
So you're never getting used to it.
Yeah.
You're never getting rid of it. Sorry.
So,
and anyways, that's a whole other.
A whole lot of trouble because we're slowly going down that road.
Sorry. No, it's just an opinion. It's just
true,
an observation. It's not an opinion. It's an observation. No, I don't know anything about this stuff. It's an observation. But yeah, let's get back to
so okay, we've tackled the UFO.
I think so too, Dolly.
Dolly's just going, go for it. So we've talked about, the paranormal a little bit with, demonology, exorcisms. We've talked about different levels of UFOs and contact and CE5. Where do we go next? Do we talk about, let's talk about doomsday. Something just came up. Yeah.
Do I have to run and get my book with Nostradamus?
Yeah, I know, right? Something came up. Let me get some notes. I did take notes. I do have notes, guys. About prophecies more than anything. It's prophecies because something came up recently. I saw it just come through my timeline today. And there was something about a World War III and how they're trying to take the U.S. down and blah blah blah. Something. This is like a lot of gloom and doom. Let me tell you what.
It's political too.
Oh, there's like all kinds of it. Seriously.
Yeah.
So then they get talking about like this doomsday clock, and I thought, okay.
Yes.
So this thing is, I'm just going to be reading, so bear with me. It's recognized as a symbol to which represents the likelihood of a man-made global catastrophe. Great. It's been maintained since 1947 by the members of the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, which can be traced back to Chicago. Its original setting in 1947 was 7 minutes to midnight. It has been set backwards and forward 24 times. The largest ever number of minutes to midnight being 17 in 1991, and the smallest being 100 seconds in 2020 and 2021. But the clock was moved to 2.5 minutes in 2017 and forward 2 minutes to midnight in January 2018, and it's been left unchanged until 2020, where it was moved 100 seconds. So since 1947, the clock has essentially been moved backwards 8 times and forward 16 times. So what the
like an odometer
hell is yeah, I mean,
why?
I don't know.
Though?
I don't know.
Is there a purpose? Is this a mockery? Is this a joke? Is that like why?
Like, what the heck? I know. Anybody's got any information?
It's like I want to watch Clockwork Orange now.
Just move. So what determines that exactly? Nobody's ever really clear.
Right? Don't you want to turn on Clockwork Orange now just to see?
I know. I know.
It's like
our son is going to Micronova. Wow, that's talk gloom and doom.
Are we all gonna fry? Like, well, I'm in for a tan, but that's a bit much for me.
I know.
I'm a sun worshiper, but not like that.
Right. So, okay, before we get too far ahead into the one topic, I want to answer Adrian's question. Just backtracking for just a couple of minutes. Do you think most exorcists are psychic?
I believe there's some ability there because they should be, but they have to connect spiritually. And what people have to remember is that deliverances are not performed like you see on TV and all these paranormal shows. There is a preparation for them if it's the rite of exorcism with the Catholic Church. They have to go into where they're cleansing their bodies, like they can't eat for so many hours, they can't drink. It doesn't just happen. They have to be clean, prepared, and they have to have a mindset that they can't be toyed or played with because believe me, they come at you. So I believe that in some ways it's meditative, and they are kind of not psychic, but in tuned.
Right. Okay. I agree with you. I think it's helpful. I think we're all in tune to a degree.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a preparation that gets you there. It's not like they're there all the time. That's why I mean it's different than psychic. Like psychic is always there.
we're going to jump back now. So
Yeah.
I'm going to read off some of these prophecies from Baba Vanga because she's one of my favorites.
Yes.
I just think she's
Baba
delightful.
Vanga.
So
She's phenomenal.
I'm not going to go into, I can see where I can back up to. Like, obviously, 1996, this is when she passed. And she was known as a true phenomenon of our time until her death on November 11th, 1996. Predicted that the world would end in 5079 AD. We got time. I thought if that's accurate. But here's a few of her predictions. However, there are more that lead the way up to 5079, which would be here all night. So 2023, let's start there. Because it said in 2018, the new China would become the new world power. So, okay. 2023, the orbit of the Earth will change, even though no one knows what this means exactly. 2025, Europe will still be very little settled. 2028, the creation of a new energy source, likely controlled thermonuclear reaction, great levels of the ocean and hunger gradually overcome. Now, 2033 is where they're talking about the 2030, this whole reset thing. Higher levels of the ocean as polar ice melts. 2043, completion of Europe's transformation into the Islamic Caliphate. The economy of the world thrives under the Muslim rule, and Rome is named the capital. So we could go on and on and on, but I mean, some of us
because it's interpretation of her vernacular.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like Nostradamus, a lot of it you have to know the vernacular of the time to understand. But she's recent. I mean, she passed away the same year as my mom. Yeah. I'm interested in how she said the Europe would settle somewhat, because right now we've got a lot going on in France.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's
we can't talk about it, but
there's a lot that she's got here. I really recommend anybody who is interested in this sort of thing to go and check out Baba Vanga.
Oh, there's lots of videos on her on YouTube. She's phenomenal, and she was blind.
She was, yeah.
Yeah, phenomenal prophet.
End of days predictions. We're getting a bit dire here, but I mean, Jesus, this is interesting. The world was said to end many times, throughout the centuries. Here are a few. Many believe the end of days will occur 70 years after the Jews return to Israel. This is the one that a lot of people lean on. Technically speaking, the UN saw the reestablishment of Israel technically in 1947. So 70 years later would have been 2017, unless we're missing some details. Sir Isaac Newton also made an end times prediction and claimed that doomsday would fall in 2060, but he never said an exact date. He also claimed that human interpretation of the Bible could indeed be flawed. Some theorists believe in the CERN and the large, the Collar Hadron could bring an apocalypse. End of times have been predicted many times. The Ozones predicted the second coming of Christ a few decades after his death. So we're talking like 66 to 70s of our era.
Yeah, and that's a huge question. Who is Christ? Is Christ an entity, a being, an energy, a human? That's tough.
Yeah.
You have to dig deep with that.
It says May 21st, 2011. There's a lot in between there, but like I said, we'll be here all night. One of the more recent predictions by Harold Camping that was done in 2011, he predicted that the ascension will take place from this date and the judgment day itself will be on October 21st. When May ended, it was said that all the phenomenon would occur at one time on the day of October, although some kind of spiritual indulgence supposedly took place. He was previously characterized by passion for an apocalyptic prophecies. Previously, several times predicted the end of things in 93 and again in 94. So I don't know. There's a lot of
There's no answers.
No.
There aren't any answers.
I hear you there, Zach, man. I hear you there.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few. I remember being really young and watching shows where they had bomb shelters on the television programs and being afraid and asking my dad if we were going to die because we didn't have one.
Right.
That's
freaking that. Spooky stuff, man.
Yeah, and those bomb shelters weren't even in my time. It was just an old show that came up, and it was black and white, and I can't remember what it was. Obviously, something sci-fi, and how petrified I was. And my brother, of course, ran with it.
Right, of course.
Yeah, it gave me nightmares for days. But Dolly says science is aware of our sun and solar system.
Solar micronova. Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's what she was referring to. Now, Tamara asked if she was blinded by a storm. That I don't know.
I think she was.
Yeah.
I'm
guessing Tamara's right, because she usually is. Tamara, you missed the contest. Make sure you rewind, because you could win a trip to LA.
Yeah. You'll have to rewind, and let me go in and put do I have it up here anywhere? Making my way. I'm going to post this back up here. Here we go. So I'm just going to blabber this off real quick. So if you go to galaxypress.com, Readers of the Future, okay, you fill this all out. And if you do this and mention News on the Flip Side show, you get a dinner with Joe. You get to go to LA. Did he say for a week? Did he say for a week?
3 days and 2 nights.
Okay, 3 days. And you basically, you'd be on Roku TV, the whole 9 yards, big. And if you mention the Outer Realm, you still get to go, and you have dinner with Joe. And, of course,
or a book.
An autographed book. I don't have all that information.
No, because it was pretty quick, so you have to rewind.
That's right, and check it out. So there we go. We'll put a little star on that, so it's easy for you to find out.
Links of prophecies. Thank you, Adrian.
Okay, good.
I will.
Back up we go. Okay. Check out this link on prophecies. There we go. Very good. Very good. So
prophecies are fascinating. I love them.
Prophecies are interesting. Edgar Casey was like one of my favorites. So let's just kind of go back a little bit. Let me go back up to this a bit. Okay. Edgar Casey. God, even Rasputin had amazing ones. Known as the Sleeping Prophet, he was born in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Did I say that right? Hopkinsville, Kentucky, March 18th, 1877. He had an amazing knack for tapping into the Akashic records in a way that no one else has ever done. He's predicted much of the unrest we have seen in the world, including what's happening in the Middle East today. He predicted the so-called Battle of Armageddon, described symbolically in the Bible, would begin 1999. Casey foresaw that this battle would not be a war fought on earth. Rather, it will be a spiritual struggle between the higher forces of light and lower forces of darkness for 1,000 years of earth time. Oh, wow. The reason for the struggle is to prevent souls from lower afterlife realms. I was
just going to say, is this biblical? Yeah.
Reincarnating to earth. By preventing souls from the lower afterlife realms from reincarnating, only enlightened souls would be permitted to reincarnate. The result will be 1,000 years of building the world peace and of enlightenment. Kind of feels like that's what we're going through now. He often maintained that humanity would soon experience a day of reckoning and predicted the year of the second coming to be, again, 1998. This has come up twice. Critics who are not very familiar with Casey material have pointed out 1998 has come and gone and the second coming has not occurred, but critics wrongly expected the second coming to happen when Jesus appears in the sky with a chorus of angels and Gabriel's horn, the whole 9 yards. He said, he also made several predictions with respect to the doomsday event, such as the Earth's poles changing, the New York coastline will disappear. See, also the west coast of the state of California.
Yeah, that's been going on with everybody. Florida's sinking too.
These are some of like our really, I guess, modern time.
Well, you think about it, at one point in time, this mass was all one. We weren't continents. You could puzzle, piece everything together. And you look at Europe, the way it's broken up. It's highly possible. I love the term that he uses, the afterlife lower level. I love that. That's a different way, rather than using the words hell or purgatory, or I find that really interesting.
Absolutely.
But he's Pisces.
Tamara, you get to go pick this one up in person, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you get the dinner or the book.
Oh, is it?
You have a
dinner or
choice. So
book?
if you don't
you have
feel
to go
like
down there and have
sitting,
the dinner.
you
There
would
go.
have to
What
win
do
the
I
trip
know?
to win the book. Yeah.
Exactly.
If you don't want to have dinner with Joe, you get a book.
Okay. Do you want to take this one?
Yes. She says, Tamara says, this is how some people go to the new earth. I have to squint through reincarnation and the other souls with lower vibrations.
Stay in the old earth. It does make sense. Unless the old earth just goes, hard to say. But I don't know, the whole reincarnation thing is, again, people love it. Some people are like, yes, yes, yes. Other people are just like, it's a trap.
Did you catch that?
Like,
it's a trap. Did you catch her saying
I love reincarnation. I love my past life stuff. But then you think about it, it's just all of a sudden, like, they really focus on it. Yeah, you want to do it.
I'm so tired.
I know. So reincarnation is amazing, but I don't know. Is it a trap? Is this how they keep the whole worker bee thing going on and on and on? Will that change with AI? Because I just read a bloody article where this scientist actually made, like, the whole article was about the scientist thinking we are very close to downloading essence into, like, a computer AI. And they're saying you should write down everything about your loved ones and get as much information as possible. I'm thinking, is this a thing? For real?
AI scares the crap out of me.
What?
Dolly says you can reincarnate anywhere in the universe. I'm going where Dr. Strange lives then, because he can go anywhere. Okay.
Yes,
I love Dr. Strange.
Yeah.
Dolly also says you're supposed to learn and become wise. Michelle just
wise.
moved
like Yoda wise, I think. Yeah. So, and Adrian.
Oh, Adrian says the poles have been shifting like a pendulum forever. At one time, it was written where the sun never set, and it was bright daylight. Well, Alaska gets that way for part of the year.
See? Oh, there we go.
It does. They go through all night and all day, right?
Yeah.
Different times of year. In the winter, isn't it dark all the time?
Yeah, for sure.
And then in the summer, they have daylight all the time.
I'd be okay with that. People, I wouldn't want to live in the dark all the time. Me.
What's sad, though, it's a whole crime thing there because of the darkness.
Because of that.
Kids are going to school in the dark.
Okay.
But yeah, the sun I can deal with.
Okay. So lower vibrations
really cool.
That some people are higher or lower, our spirits vibrate on the level we're supposed to according to our journey. Oh, insinuates. Okay, I was trying to figure out what are we talking about, but okay. That makes sense now. Yeah, see, well, like I said, I read this today and like, we could be close to doing this. And I'm thinking to myself,
transferring consciousness? That's scary. I'm glad you said big BS. Dolly, thank you. I can sleep tonight. Third dimension is specific. What you
But
can
it's
do.
energy. Can we not transfer energy?
To an AI?
Well, no, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Oh, I don't like it.
I know, but if we're energy, so can you not? Bible don't like that.
No, it scares me. It's the one thing that frightens me. I don't want to be caught up in a machine.
No, I know, because it means you never get to do anything. It would be horrific.
I don't get to make pizza ananymore.
You are your own energy. We have to do. It's that time, Bubbles.
Yes, I was just going to the page
It's that
I
time,
have
guys.
Flagged.
It's Folgers time. It's Folgers time. There we go.
There we go. You are listening to The Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, coming to you live from the beautiful city of New Orleans on 105.3 and 107.7 FM radio. Tonight, we've got us in the house and you in the house because we're doing our monthly jam session, High Strangeness. And if you just tuned in and you've missed most of us, don't worry about it because you can stream or listen to our archives in the platform you normally use. A shout out and a thank you to the amazing people at Folgers Coffee for fully sponsoring our show from day one. We thank you for sponsoring us and continuing to sponsor us, and we love you so much. Just saying. A shout out and a huge thank you for our intro and outro to Dr. Snick, the sonic surgeon, Justin Snicker, award-winning composer and musician. You can find his music on Amazon and Bandcamp, and you can find him on social media on Facebook and Instagram. And you know what I'm going to say. If you are watching on YouTube or on Facebook, please give us a like and a follow, and make sure you share. Hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube, because you don't want to miss a thing here. We move fast and we book fast. Share.
This is very true.
Yes.
This is very true, actually. And guys, find us on Roku. And
Roku, that's right.
That's it. Exactly. And if you're looking to send us an email right here, outaroundcontact@gmail.com. We'll leave that up for a few minutes and go from there.
Put that in my break. I'm going to have to put that in my email. I put it on the post and I forget because Roku's fairly new and I've missed a few shows.
It is.
Yeah.
So let's go back. Oh my God, all the contacts. Okay, here we go. I'm a pot a day girl. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Coffee
I used to be a pot a day, but now, with the espresso.
Right. I know.
I can conveniently not count those cups.
It really doesn't take much, just saying.
It's really terrible when I love my coffee, and the great thing about those K cups, especially with Folgers, you can just keep going and going and going because you're doing one at a time. So I don't know what they add up to.
I know. Okay, so we're gonna pick up where we left off with Dolly says. She goes, okay. So
Dolly says,
yes. Okay,
third dimension is specific what you can do.
Right.
You are your own energy. Okay. No one can make you.
Right. So that's
I feel like I'm playing pyramid.
I know. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. For 10,000, Michelle.
I get it. I know. Oh my gosh. So you know what? Let's get on to something else. Hold on. Do you guys want to talk about next time travel? That's a good time travel stories. Or do we want to talk about? Yeah, I know. I have to ask.
I'm laughing at Tamara. Just put 3 K-cups out a day.
You know how? You know how? Like that one time I told you that Wayne and I were just experimenting with the portal, that piece of equipment, and we ended up talking to these.
We have to try it in the new house. Yeah.
I haven't tried it here yet.
I know.
But we're talking to these I think they were pilots, and I think they were wartime. At first I thought, oh, is this some bad B movie?
Yeah.
And realistically, because they sound like they're from the 50s. And I could hear propellers. I could hear, like, they could see everything. And they're like, it's so dark, we're lost. They kept saying, we're lost. And they had these strong American accents. And of course, they thought I had an accent because they're like, it's like, who is that? It's a woman. I think it's a queen. I'm like, ha!
That's funny because Americans
maybe, but
say
surely
that
not
about
in
us
England.
a lot. Yeah,
but I know. But I'm thinking that's crazy. And I said, what is your rank and position? Major so and so, and the position was the coordinates aside from the last one. But the first two put them over the Pacific. We just didn't know where over the Pacific because of that last one.
Yeah.
And then they started to describe us, because at first they say everything's dark. We don't know where we are. We're lost. And they're talking amongst each other. And then they say, look, there's a man and a woman. They're sitting at a table. They have electricity. I'm going, and they're like, there's a door. Do not go through that door. I really had a vision of some bomber coming through the whole house.
Right.
And they're like, please.
Do you think it was
please
dimensional, or do you think it was time travel? What did you feel like it was at the time, besides fear of someone flying through that beautiful manor?
I was like, oh, they see a door. Don't go through. And they were pleading with us.
You have to wonder if the manor's a power spot, too, because we know what goes on there.
Oh, my God. You know what? Anything You wonder if they walked through. Yes, like everything else was coming through the damn house. I was like,
They would have been coming through the window of the dining room at that point. But yeah, that's scary.
It was pretty freaky deaky. Let me tell you something, because I don't.
Well, because it's an intelligent conversation. It's not residual.
No,
You're
it wasn't
conversing.
residual. There was complete communication going on, and it broke my heart because they were pleading. They were lost.
Oh,
Is it
that's
dimensional? Hard. I don't know.
Did they slip through a time warp?
We went through exactly a year later at the same day, at the same time, to try to recreate it. We waited a full year because they just cut off. Literally, they just cut off. And then some other man started talking. And he was like, well, hello there. I'm like, hey. That's like, who is this? And they started talking about, and then he just goes, they were kind. They were kind at first. Then they changed. And I'm like, I am being mind blown with this stuff coming through. And I'm like, well, can you tell me more? And a woman pops in and goes, hey, he's trying to tell you. I'm like, okay.
Wow, okay, easy.
Yeah, it got really freaking weird. And then everything.
It's like an episode out of Supernatural.
Well, was it that all the planets were just lined up right? What was it? Because we could never, ever.
You should check that out.
It.
Have you researched that? What planets were in line that day, that time? You should research that and see. We've never talked about that. You just said it.
We looked into it a little bit, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I just do not know exactly what to make of it.
Yeah.
It could have been, yes, I believe the planets were lined up right. I think there was something going on at that time from what I remember reading at the time. I do have this recorded too, people. I don't just say this stuff. I record all of my sessions, all of them. So I have it.
So I'm wondering, with interdimensional, time warp, power spot, you have all these things, alignment of planets. There's a lot to consider, and there's a lot of yeses here because you were in a power spot.
Yeah, I think so. And I think
you were going through dimensions on that box.
Or stargates or vortexes.
Yes.
It's crazy. I don't even get me started on freaking music these days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michelle gets a lot of music.
Oh yeah, because I'll tell you what, man. Like,
I wish I got music. I just keep getting kids asking for mama, and that's just scares crap.
I've heard music for years.
Yeah.
And the Manor had a lot of like old-fashioned type of music. I get it.
Piano too.
The whole spirit family going on. But I tell you, right now, I hear things like Gregorian chants, like Viking chants, like choirs. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, look at me. I'm not a choir type individual.
Or Metallica.
That's right. So, but this is the type of things that's been going on. And this house is so quiet. The new house is so quiet. And I don't hear this when I sleep, people. I'll be sitting at the dining room having a coffee or a latte in the morning going, I hear it all the time here. So I don't know. Questions?
No, you're getting recommendations for rock music. That would be to Michelle, not to me.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. And angelic. Oh my God.
Angelic can be painful because that ringing is excruciating, man.
The ringing never stops. Is that ringing?
I ask them to back
changing
down
all the time.
And I always get it when Michelle gets it. It's always the same week that it's like piercing where, it's painful.
Bizarre.
It's painful.
I
think their real voices are so high pitch.
Yeah. I've never had it to this point. For me, some of it is so beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Some of it is so beautiful that it brings you to a state of, where I'm in awe. I'm so pulled in. I'm just
when you take it in.
And I'm just so, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I feel like that when I hear cello music. I don't know why.
Really?
I can cello.
Maybe we were cellists back in the day.
I don't know. They're expensive instruments, man. Like they're $150,000. I don't know if it's because my dad played 3 or 4 string instruments. I think that could be it. It's soothing for me because I've always heard it.
Right.
But that and opera, which opera can be really hard for people. And for me, I just like fall over emotionally.
Right.
But I think that's a past life thing for me.
That could be.
I think it's something that was entertainment for me in my time.
So do you think, okay, we'll use music as an example since that's what everybody's sort of chiming in with. Vibration, frequency. Do you think, is it here in the now? Is it dimensional?
I think it's all of the above.
Yeah.
1,000 and up for cellos. Oh, really? You play, Tamara? Oh my gosh. I have a newfound love for you, like more than I loved you before. You have no idea how much I love the cello. That's something a lot of people don't know about me. You know, they do now, 3 million of you, but I mean, a lot of people don't know that about me. I can listen to cello music nonstop for hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And not the modern ones. I like the old stuff.
Yeah. I like the old stuff. It just sounds
I like the old stuff. I like the Tchaikovsky. I like all the old stuff. I love it. I can listen to that forever and ever and ever. Piano too.
Yeah.
7 years. You are one gifted woman because that is a talent. Cello is a talent.
Though,
yes.
Artists.
Absolutely. My father would have loved you. That's all I'm going to say. My dad would have loved you. My dad played violin. Yeah.
Keep going. I'm just going back up to look for the little. Oh, hold on.
The cello's not sad. It makes you want to cry. Then you're listening to the wrong songs. You can, cello. If you feel like it makes you cry, Chris, try listening to cello that's playing more modern music. But on the cello, you'll probably like it because you can. And I love. You know what else I really, really love is the bagpipes. Oh my gosh.
I love bagpipes.
I have that one girl that I follow. I share with you.
She plays the bagpipes.
She plays Back in Black with her thing, and she plays Color Purple. She plays all of that.
Yeah, I love really like rock.
She's a rock. She's a competitor. Beautiful. She's won multiple medals.
Yeah.
Mandolin. My dad played mandolin too. He played the mandolin, the guitar, the violin. He's played everything. My God, the harmonica, the accordion. What Italian doesn't play accordion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm just trying
Cello
to
is a healing instrument.
As we slowly, get up there.
Well, it's healing for Adrienne. See, it's healing.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the
vibrations.
Yeah.
It's how music. It's how it makes you feel. How it resonates with you.
Oh, hold on, I'm trying to get back up. Okay.
Zach used to play the saxophone and loved to play jazz and big band music. It would definitely raise some positive vibes when I would play the songs like Night Train. Yeah. I don't like jazz. I'm one of those people who doesn't get the whole do. I just don't get it.
I know.
But if it works for you, that's great.
Yeah, it's a whole movement, and
it is a movement. It's very much. I like swing music. I do like that. Yes. I love orchestras. I do. I played in one. I played the flute for years. But
I think music, vibration, frequencies is the way of tuning in to ourselves, tuning into the planet, tuning into dimensions. I mean, they even went as far, the powers that be, to changing, our frequencies on purpose. You know? So I feel that. How
about just listening to frequencies, like Michelle always has me do?
Binaural beats.
Yeah, Chris says my absolute favorite musical instrument is the human voice. It can be very soothing.
Yes. Well, some people.
Yeah.
Other people, you're like, well, you just got
other people are like nails on a freaking chalkboard, but
I know. So, but I do understand what you're saying.
I have a friend who's got a cartoon voice, and it drives me insane. And I love her. But the voice.
Yeah, I truly love listening to binaural beats. I completely believe in the power of healing with frequency, vibration. I completely, when I work with people for years. There's especially people grieving, or people who have just been depressed, people going through a really bad depression, and just being able to release a lot of that.
Yeah.
This is what I recommend. I start off with certain frequencies and I work them into other frequencies based on what they're going through.
I can attest to that because Michelle does it with me. And I actually use it for the dog. I call it the chiropractic of the spiritual world.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Yoko Ono is
You're not wrong, Chris.
I don't think I ever heard her sing. Music helps with PTSD.
You are in for a treat.
Yeah, I won't be Googling that if it's that bad. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's like that time Jack Kenna had us stuck on minute. Remember
Jesus.
from the Sesame Street? And I'm like,
forever.
what are you doing? And he was just laughing his head off. It was stuck in my head for days.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started. I can do Benny Hill.
Oh my gosh.
I know. There's healing music and laughter and vibrations. Yes. And it's something that I've always said to people, that dark entities or energies cannot exist if they can't feed. And they feed off of any type of negative energy. When I say negative, I'm not saying that you're just mad, anger. I mean things like sadness and depression, addictions and things of that nature, arguing, dividing, they like to the divide and conquer within the family home and the unit. So now you have isolation in there. And I think you get to a point where you have to just raise that vibration. So I tell people, live, love, laugh. God's sakes, anybody follows me on Instagram, live, love, laugh, live your best life, live your adventure. I harp about it all the dang time because it actually works. I'm having a day and a half. I'm like, love and light, stupid cow, love and light.
I'll get a message. Bubbles, are you okay over there?
I know, I'm terrible. You're just ridiculous, to like a family member or something. And I'm like, no, love and light. And I gotta try to bring it back into my space because I feel my energy.
You're better at it than I am.
I know, it's pretty funny though, honestly.
You're better
for the record, I love Pingu.
Pingu, those stupid penguins music. I don't know who that is.
Pingu
I'm not Googling that one either. I don't want it stuck in my head. They're penguins,
right? But
like the tap dancing ones I had to sit through.
He would piddle everywhere in the cartoon. It was crazy that they would actually show this little yellow piddle. I'm going.
Thank you, Chris.
Is Pingu going to the washroom? Yeah.
I really love. I really love the frequency thing. I was saying earlier, I use it on Versace. He's turning 15, so of course every week I'm like, oh my goodness, still have him because he's just my little baby. And I use that in the background when he has anxiety. I probably should have mentioned it to Sabrina when I left the house today, because he just barks and cries for the whole time that I'm gone. Right. But yeah, I think it's not just us, animals.
Beats.
Yeah. Animals are amazing with that. I mean, sonar with whales, aquatic life uses vibration.
Yeah. No, so, I completely agree with that. And I don't know why it's so hard. I mean, you could get this stuff free, on YouTube and such, and it's so beneficial. But again, when I've worked with people, you have to really examine what's going on in your life and work with frequencies on that. People are like, oh, there's 900 hertz or megahertz. Like, get away from that.
Yeah, don't go crazy. Start off small.
How about, give yourself something to build up towards.
Well,
how about that?
Frequency's greatest argument to say that it works would be the frequency horses when there's a tornado or a hurricane or a twister. They run, they take cover. Birds, their patterns change when the vibration and the frequencies in the world change.
Right.
And I often wonder how we're affecting them with our technology. But you think about it, animals are so sensitive to frequency and vibration.
Well,
why wouldn't it benefit us?
You read stories about whales and dolphins beaching themselves. And they find out that maybe there had been some sonar testing in the area at one point. Like, honestly,
that is so sad.
There's just something to
sad.
be said for all of it. I truly believe that man is, we're our own worst enemy. We definitely are the most destructive of beings on this planet. And again, we're not like I say 100 times over, we're not the first kick of the can on this planet with respects to civilizations.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we see remnants. I think a lot of that has been kept from us with respects to that history, our real history, and we don't know what's going on. We're just conditioned to believe certain things and we believe it.
Yeah, I
Take it with
agree
a
with
grain of
that.
salt. Take
We're
everything
trying
with a
to
grain of salt.
unlearn everything.
Well, yeah. I mean, why is it so difficult for people to understand that, even like the word conspiracy theory? I'll use that as an example. It's a term invented by the CIA in the 70s just to try to, get us all the crazy people out there.
It's a
Oh, they're just
label.
crazy talk. But I'll
Yeah.
tell you something. Calling somebody a conspiracy theorist who takes the time to really educate themselves on something, just because you don't agree with it, doesn't mean it isn't so, or it's not
No.
another perspective.
It's
It's about
anything.
perspective in the end.
No,
And
anything
people-
just because you don't believe in it doesn't make it untrue.
Well, there's a lot of things out there that we're not made privy to. A lot has been kept from us. What's to make us think that it's still not going on? No,
Yeah.
government's going to tell us everything. No, they're not. They're going to tell
No.
you anything more than they think you need to know, and they don't really think you need to know very much.
Exactly.
Right. So just take the time to do the research. Don't get angry with somebody because they have a whole other difference of opinion. It's an opinion.
Yeah.
That's all. It's a different perspective, perception. Like we're just, well, I think we're failing miserably at that, aren't we, Chris?
We're failing miserably at what we're doing to the earth is just unreal. They're so concerned about recycling things, but yet the water bottle is still plastic. And we're still buying water, just saying. So look deep before you criticize somebody for recycling or not recycling. Take a look at the water bottle count in your house, because I got a filter in my house.
Yeah, I got a filter as well.
Yeah.
How about the old term, that many people live by? Leave the world a better place than how you found it. Yeah. Hopefully and preferably because you were part of it. Leave your mark. Yeah. Remove your footprint, so to speak, but leave your mark with respect to your contribution to making everything here that much better.
Absolutely. And the smallest thing is like a donation to someone, a charity that needs it badly. Every bit helps. Even if you can only do a little bit, do it. Do what you can. Do what you can. Right. Erase that footprint and do what you can.
Think about the next generation.
Yeah. And they learn by watching you. They learn by observing. And those K-cups can be recycled. Don't forget that. You empty out the coffee into the green bin.
Save them.
Yeah. You empty out the coffee into the green bin and you take that container, the K-cup, and you put it into the plastic recyclable. Yes. So convenience has a price and it's costing the earth everything.
And guys, pay it forward. If everybody did one good deed, just one, doesn't matter how small, one good deed. Yeah, just something, just a smile. Just imagine how you would be raising that vibration and you would have this amazing, remember, we're a collective consciousness. So we're picking up a lot of crud out there. How about just try to replace that with something better? Yes, I agree.
I say if you're in a city, a big city, and you're starting to feel down, there's a reason why people flock to the country.
Oh yeah.
Okay. It's connecting with the earth and with Mother Nature.
Right.
And we're getting warm enough. I've put it out on Instagram. We're getting warm enough that you can actually start earthing and grounding outside. I mean, It was 27 degrees Celsius here today. You can walk in that grass barefoot and you would be surprised at the medical benefits if you research that. Pardon?
Watch for ticks.
Ticks, yeah. If you're out, you have to watch for ticks where I am.
I know.
Yeah.
Watch for the darn ticks. That's the thing right there.
Yeah. True.
Yeah,
I've had one
season. I'm just going to put it out there, doing my community service.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
it has been really bad because we haven't had cold enough winters to kill them off. So
no, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's supposed to be a heat wave this summer. It's supposed to be really hot.
Well, all I know, guys, is that I'm really hoping that 2023. I had to think about that. What year am I in? Help me, Bubbles.
I don't know what day it is. You're asking the wrong person. I had the wrong date on the banner.
Oh, I know. Yeah, okay, you did. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a day ahead. I don't
did.
even know what day it is. I've been like this for 2 weeks.
It's pretty bad.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually pretty bad. But realistically, I mean, I would like to think that this would be a year to really make a difference. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to get next week's guest up so I can share it all with you. I think something has to give. I think we're really in. I think we're really in a place right now that there's a lot of anger, and I don't quite understand it. We're coming into spring. There's a lot of things going on in the world. Yes, it sucks. It's not good, but it's not necessarily. It's not necessarily going to do any good to stay there.
No,
we have to do something.
Look for the good. We are blessed and so fortunate in so many ways just by where we live. Think about it. There's just so much to be grateful for. And if you could find one thing a day to be grateful for every day when you wake up and first say thank you to whomever you believe in, or the energy or the universe, that stay in gratitude. Happiness lives there. That will raise your vibration. One thing every day that you are grateful for, and start with the little things. Don't be materialistic, not your house, not your car. The fact that you have transportation in a different view. You have to be. I love this story that Zach shared.
Okay, want me to go back to the first one?
Yes, please.
Okay, you read it out.
Zach says,
I gotta look for stuff.
That resonates with me based on something that happened to him last week. He was at a gas station and the clerk noticed his cologne. I bet you smell good, Zach. She told me that her brother who passed away wore the same cologne, and smelling it brought back memories of him. And he gave his condolences and told her that he lost his mom a month ago. I know that was a tough one. It felt good that I could do something small that made a positive impact. And you weren't even thinking about it. You were just being yourself. That's a beautiful story, Zach.
Yeah. I love that. Did you get the second one? Okay, you got that. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Last but not least.
Adriana says, yes, the law of attraction. Focus on gratitude and positive to attract the same. Very much so.
That's a big one.
Very much so.
And I think what you really have to be mindful of is your thoughts, because your thoughts can really they can do a lot of damage. And if we're not careful as to what we put out there, it will come back to us. And I'll tell you something, that leaves an imprint. If you're not really mindful of it, that will leave an imprint. Yeah. So with that being said, I'm going to have to improvise here because my computer has a mind of its darn own. And I don't know where all my stuff is, but I'm most certainly going to have to get this worked out. So I'm already there. Hard to believe it. We're at the top of the hour. So big thank you to everybody in the chat room. You guys are just bloody awesome. Just saying.
Yes.
I'm going to put this up here as well. There we go. We're going to change that up. So thank you all for tuning in. We love to do this once a month with you guys. It's so awesome to bounce ideas around and get everybody's opinions. Open chat night is always a lot of fun for us. Remember, please, to tune in tomorrow night, because I'm going to pull this in. There we go. This is what I've been fighting for. We're going to be welcoming for the very first time Kevin Jeffers. And he's going to be sharing his experiences as we were just talking about this, soul traveler, healer, and energy specialist. He has set out to teach people how to achieve spiritual freedom through a unique expression of consciousness that he calls the pattern. And he's got a book. You can find it on Amazon called The Pattern. Very, very cool. So that's tomorrow night. So big thank you to the folks at Folgers Coffee who sponsor tonight's show. Big thank you to Justin Snicker, the Sonic Surgeon. Big thank you to Steve McGinnis. If you guys like what you hear, please like, subscribe, follow, share, comment, you name it. Do it. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Tamara, yes, it's not Tuesday. It's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. We expect to see you in chat, young lady. Anyway, good night, guys. We love you guys.